Let's do
Hi,
it.
everyone. I'm Sammy, and I'm here with Pastor Bill and Pastor Ben as we continue our mini-series on self-control. This third episode is all about how self-control is affected by our habits. Man, habits are awful. I was just thinking about this as I was sitting in bed at about 9:30 last night, craving popcorn
Oh, yes.
while watching The Office.
Yeah. Very good.
So tell me a little bit more about this. Habits, the gospel, all of the things.
Should I go? You want to go? Who wants to go?
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll practice self-control.
Well, I really, I mean, there's this kind of where you mix with God's word. The Bible talks about habits, don't get in the habit of not meeting together, be in the habit of meeting together. The Bible talks about habits a lot, but then there's this whole scientific psychology study of habits, and that's broken down. I remember reading, my favorite book on this is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he breaks it down into a habit is when you have a cue, something alerts your attention that leads to a craving. When this happens, you have this craving for something, then you have this response, you get in a routine, and then there's a reward. So it's 9 o'clock, that's your cue to turn on The Office. When you turn on The Office, that makes you think, I need something, right? I just need some popcorn. Yeah, I'm so hungry. I want some salty and buttery, and the reward of the satisfaction of eating that. So I think this is where being a physical human being that God created us to understand how habits work also connects with our spiritual life. So I think that's really important. Just understand how that works. And I think habits are a real gift from God, because if we didn't have habits, we'd have to consciously think about everything. A habit is like the habit of not having to think about everything as you pull out of the car or out of the driveway, which here's how it can work. Did you guys hear about this? I closed the garage on my wife because I had the habit. This is the habit of hitting the garage door, and she was pulling out. I forgot that I knew she was leaving right after me, but I can't in the habit of closing the garage. I hit the garage, and then anyway, so habits are this thing
Sorry,
Yeah.
habits are
Someone needed to practice self-control.
Right. But habits are at the heart of it. Habits are a good thing, of so that we don't have to consciously think about everything. But we have to be careful, because what we've put on autopilot, what we've allowed to be put on autopilot, is sometimes very unhealthy. That's all I have to say.
No, that's good. That's really good. Right? That habits can be good,
Right.
and they can lead us in the right way, and that's that importance of having God's word in our day, and thinking about like our baptisms daily. That we've been covered by grace and things like that. And when we don't do that those kinds of habits, those good habits, then we automatically form habits, and they aren't necessarily good.
Right.
Because as you're going through this, it's 9 o'clock, time for The Office. And I'm just going, it's 8:30 for me, and it's time to start eating like crazy, and all that. And then because it's a bad habit,
Yeah.
there's shame after it.
Right.
And it's just like repeated, and, and it's just, just need to, one of the things I was thinking about is like habits can either, fill us up or detract, tear us down, wear us out. And then if we've used the habit to wear us out and tear us down, what are we going to fill it back in?
Yeah.
Because we know there's something missing.
Yeah.
Right? And then if we can fill it with God,
Yeah.
who is the whole filler,
Right.
or we can fill it with other things, and we'll continually yearn for more
Right.
of that, because it won't ever fill us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's really good.
So I was listening to a podcast this morning, the Fierce Marriage podcast. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah,
heard
I know
that
that one. Yeah.
But it was all about family worship, which is why I picked it up. My family and I do like a Bible study with the kids before they go to bed and things, but I've never been super happy with it because the kids only like the ones on YouVersion with the videos. But anyway, it's a start, right?
Yeah.
right? No, that's good.
But the idea of family worship is that a couple of times a week, you're kind of doing like a mini church service
Yes.
at your house, like 10 to 15 minutes where you do some Bible reading and discuss it. Maybe do a song, and my family's very musical, so that works. And then say prayers together and do prayer requests. So for someone maybe like me who wants to start a positive habit, or maybe start summing things out, what would be your recommendations based on gospel?
I think connecting it with something that you're already doing. So for in your case, like family worship, all right, are we gonna have dinner together? Is now and then so after dinner, that's a cue. Dinner now is after this family worship, or it's bedtime. We all go to, the kids go to bed at the same time. So it's starting with some sort of cue that's gonna, okay, we're already doing this together. Or if it's, I know some families, they all leave the house at the same time. They get up at different times, but one family, they all meet in somebody who wakes up the last time the kid who wakes up last, they all gather in that person's room. That's the cue. That person's finally waking up. We're all going to gather in their room, rude awakening, but it works for them to do a prayer in the morning. So I think connect it with something you're already doing. And then make it easy. Don't make it too difficult. Let's not go through a huge theological work, or make it something that's accessible, and then make it satisfying. There's some sort of rejoicing. If it's singing, if you guys like singing, something that will reward what you're doing. That's how you start habits. So yeah, I think that's. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I like that, obviously, and I think that's all very good. I think one of the big keys with it is if you miss a day.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up.
Right.
Just jump back in.
Right.
Just jump back in the next day, or however that goes.
Yeah. Maybe make it a goal to never miss twice. I heard it said that way. That okay, we missed that, but let's not miss it another time.
Right.
That's not. We haven't totally gone off the rails.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is you can't really start a new habit. You just have to replace a bad one. It's not like we can just make this out of thin air, because that's just going to take so much energy. So like, we're going to do a devotion when everybody comes home from school. Well, everybody's coming in at different times and the schedules never match up. And so don't set yourself up for failure at a time that it's going to take tons of energy, tons of structure, tons of planning. Make it connect with something you're already doing.
Right. That's good. And as you're looking to replace things too, because we are set in our habits, and just maybe, give from my perspective, like the value.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we always do this. We always watch this TV show.
Yeah.
Or whatever is that valuable?
Yeah.
And so good. And if it's not, or if there's something more valuable, then let's do that. Because I just think about some of the times where I've watched TV and it's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And then the opposite, I think, is true too. Like, if you want to break a bad habit, make it hard to do. If it's TV or food, put the TV downstairs. Get the food out of the house. If it's bad technology, put the technology in far away. Do these things, make it hard, and scramble up your routine and scramble things up so that that you can get rid of it.
I think that's a really great lead into our next episode on self-control, which is about how self-control is affected by your environment. That's it for this episode. We'll see you next week as we continue and finish up our self-controlled mini-series.